Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the Microsoft 365 Community Conference Workshop Preview Series. Whew, that's a mouthful. And I'd like to thank our strategic partner, Techly. This series is in its second of a 3-week run, where every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we will feature a sneak peek into the workshop scheduled for the main event in Orlando this April. If you're watching live on one of our streaming channels, and you'd like to figure out a little bit more about what else we have scheduled, check out the QR code, and we'll have a schedule there of all the upcoming sneak peeks. As we get past January into February and March, we're going to add additional sneak peeks and previews of the topics and the sessions that will be presented. We'll have live panels, discussions with Microsoft speakers as well as community speakers. So that should be pretty exciting coming up. So most of all, we really hope that this entices you to be there live and in person at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference in Orlando this April. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our presenters today. We've got Galen Keene, Ryan Schouten, and Ben Stegink.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us, watching with us today. We're here to talk about the event on the workshop we're going to be doing with the Microsoft 365 conference. Our session is going to be all about getting you ready for using Copilot in your organization. So the workshop, if you're looking for it, is Secure, Scalable, Governed, a real-world playbook for deploying and administering Microsoft 365 Copilot. So I'm happy to be here with a couple of my good friends as we're preparing for this event and just kind of let you guys know what's to look forward to and what we've got coming for this workshop. So hopefully you all join us. For those that are looking at it, we do have discount codes. So if you want to do any of our last names and 150, so Schouten, Schouten 150, Keene, Keene 150, or Stegink 150 as well. That'll save you $150 off of your registration. So love to have you there. So today we're going to start out. We're going to start out with some of the areas that we're looking at is when it comes to the workshop. So some things we're going to be talking about, and we're going to start out with talking about is just readiness gaps. So guys, what are some things that people need to be aware of that as they're getting ready for the workshop and getting ready for rolling out Microsoft Copilot?
For me, a big one that I see is oversharing. People that have, I'm a longtime SharePoint guy, right? I've been doing SharePoint for way too long. My hair or lack thereof is, my wife keeps reminding me, but people, whether people have done obscurity or security by obscurity, people not setting default links, right? Like we're going to be talking about this. I have some stories that I can share, and I'll probably try to take some of the data and even cleanse it for this workshop and walk people through, like, how do I get this data? How do I start analyzing the data? How do you go in and start looking for where bad behavior with permissions are going to cause you issues with Copilot? So I know that's what Microsoft 365 Copilot. Sorry, I gotta use the full name, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, Ben. It's like, how do you access and start to compile, gather all the data for the assessment? What kind of tooling is needed? I'm super excited about this workshop because I think what we can do from the real world experience that we have is meet people where they are. What licenses do you currently have in your tenant? What tools are available with those licenses? And what are the different techniques you can use to kind of compile this data that you're gathering, assess it, and turn it into actionable content to inform next steps?
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah,
since you asked us, I'm going to ask you back.
Now we're in trouble. I know a lot of things as well. It's one of the standard problems when you're working with these tools is there's like the same problem we had with search is that getting ready for that information is if you're not preparing to make sure you got oversharing, you got sensitive data. Say, for example, if you've got somebody that's got the CEO's salary shared to the entire company, guess what? Copilot or search in general, any of those tools, they're going to find it. And they will expose very quickly where some of those gaps are. So I think that's one of the things is whether it's the sensitivity of the content, whether it's payroll data, whether it's PII information, all this stuff needs to make sure it's protected before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. So with that, like there's two different aspects to it, right? The first part when we go into this is that readiness. How do we prepare for it? Where are the gaps? I think what a lot of people too want to understand is once we've gone through some of those readiness gaps and where we go in and fix all of it, right? That's going to be one of the first steps. But now you have to maintain it too afterwards. Like there's a whole kind of, I mean, we had SharePoint governance, we have Teams governance. I think now we have, how do we think about governance as well once we've gotten ready for it, once we've gone through and analyzed the data, both fixing it and then kind of maintaining it in the future.
Yeah, making sure it's not, we fix the problem and then it
comes back.
Again. Yeah.
One of the things I'm excited about, it's not the most exciting topic necessarily, but it's an important topic. It's connecting the top part of an organization with the with where the work gets done, right? The down in the trenches, and a lot of times that's done through very strategically focused policies. So taking that discovery and assessment, what you've learned there, and then kind of evaluating that, coming up with the policies that enforce your security and compliance requirements, but also enforce the culture that you want within your organization. How do you want agent publication to be for your end users? When it comes to them actually using the tech, these policies provide that backbone that supports the implementation and ongoing governance activity, right? And so I'm super excited to kind of get into that. It's somewhat of a dry topic, but I think we can turn it into a fun component of the workshop because it is so important that you have that to lean on when you go to actually carry out your governance activities.
Yeah, I have a fun story about this. I'm already getting excited for our workshop. I have a fun story about this. I haven't told either of you two this story yet that I had with a client around a governance policy in Copilot. I don't know if I'm allowed to share it here. Do I just need to leave that?
We'll
leave
just
it hanging. There's a teaser. It was fascinating on a call we were on, but it was fun around a way to make this fun. I got a fun story around governance and governance policies in Copilot.
Sweet.
Those are two words you don't really hear very often, right? Governance and fun. Come to our workshop.
Right. Something. Although I was in one call the other day and I told something like I was on the edge of my seat about something fun and they just said I was a nerd. They were like, no, it's not really fun. You're just really nerdy.
Well, and what's their point? That's what nerds have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think this is some key points though, is that the governance and some of the things we're talking about is like governance and then also reporting and discovery is how we kind of keep that maintained. So I know that's one of the areas that we wanted to discuss next is, so what are some things that people need to be aware of as they're getting ready for like these reporting initiatives and tracking down this information?
Yeah, and that's one I've seen. We've seen a lot of investment from Microsoft in Microsoft 365 Copilot, right? So to say there's a bunch of investment here is kind of like, well, yeah, it's everywhere. But there's a lot of tools I think that Microsoft is coming out with to help with this, built right into Microsoft 365. So I think that's one thing that'll be fun to go explore. Is there were some announcements back at Ignite with like DSPM for AI just becoming DSPM or data security posture management, reporting in there. There's a lot of different tools there. I think of like Agent 365, Agent IDs, some of the reporting and some of the information that people are going to be gathering out of there. And those things are going to be both from a governance perspective, but also from some of the reporting perspective around agents that you haven't seen that we'll be able to dive into in this workshop. Really look into how you can leverage some of those new features and functionality that it's still in preview right now. But it doesn't stop me from doing anything with preview and having fun with it in the workshop.
Right. And I think it's super important to remember that this workshop is meant to, connect with you with wherever you are, right? So a lot of what we talk about, we're implementing for organizations at scale, right? Organizations with tens of thousands of employees, where there's an expectation that, within the first 6 months, we'll have thousands of agents deployed because it's personal productivity, etc. So we'll bring the tools, the tips, and the techniques to report on and take action on, and meet you where you are with the license that you have.
Exactly. I think as well as just tying into that discussion, like when we're talking about creating these agents, one of the things we're going to be looking at as well is how do you manage those environments to make sure people are not doing things they're not supposed to be, that things are getting shared, things are getting managed and maintained, and also tying back into governance, how that is tied into, and you're ensuring that governance is followed, as opposed to somebody just, okay, I'm just going to go out and create something. We've got a Ben out there just going out and having fun playing with things, and now we got to do some cleanup. We got to rein that guy back in. So different things that we're going to be talking about bringing that security and that management in to make it so that as an administrator or even just regular user, that it's not a huge burden to work with these.
Right.
Ryan, are you saying? Oh, go ahead, Galen.
I was just going to say, and I'm super excited about this topic in particular. The administration of agents at scale, right? And having to do this being a solo team member or a team member of a very small group, like how can you actually manage thousands of agents and all of the requests associated with them, right? There is a way. There's some tried and true practices to help you do this at scale with a small team. So super excited to bring those techniques to the table. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Ben. Just at the edge of my seat here.
You were see, you're a nerd too. No, yours was way more insightful. I was just going to say that Ryan was apparently calling me a rebel, that I'm one of those employees that doesn't do what I'm supposed to.
Well, I can make those comments because as part of out of the three of us, you're our security type guy. So I was like, okay, I can make those jabs at him. He's the one that's going to be doing anything, but he's going to have fun, but he's going to make sure it's done properly.
Oh, 100%. Like even the Copilot thing, like when you were saying, I'm like, as a security guy, people ask me different exposure. And I'm like, your exposure is now Copilot. If I get into somebody's tenant as a security guy, the first place I'm going is to Copilot, to start asking Copilot questions to see what I can discover in a tenant.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can't wait for that small time during our workshop where we get to share all the cool prompts that expose some of the gaps in security through Copilot.
And you can run those in your tenant and see just how bad it is, or just how good you are. So it's like, but just keep in mind, if you're running these prompts and you get your phone ringing very shortly thereafter, make sure you butter up your security guys. Okay, hey, I just running some tests to make sure how good we are, how good we got things protected. But
yeah, exactly.
All right, I know we're kind of running low on time. Anything you guys want to add as far as closing and going further for the next steps here?
I'd just like to say that I think this workshop is for all of the admins out there, especially. You're looking at 3 people that have been around SharePoint for a long time. I, like Ben, attribute all of the forehead that you see to SharePoint, all the gray hairs that you don't see because of this filter. Those are SharePoint hairs as well. And we've been around the block or two as it relates to adminning M365. And so this workshop is for you. We'll bring those tips and tricks, techniques that will help you make managing agents and Copilot at scale possible.
Thank you, guys.
Summed it up there pretty well.
Thank you so much. Great job. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. To let you know that this presentation has been recorded and will be made available shortly on demand viewing on Galen, Brian, and Ben's workshop page on the conference website. Once again, thanks for joining us. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, we have Rick Van Russelt will give his sneak peek into the workshop on becoming an AI builder hero. And then in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, we have David Warner and Hugo Bernier sharing a preview of their workshop, Mission UX, Designing Better Microsoft 365 Experiences. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you in person in Orlando.
Bye all.